In your experience with angel investing, what do you think are some of the key factors which determine the success of an investor and some of the key factors which determine the success of an entrepreneur who is trying to attract capital?
The number one factor determining the success of the investor is the quality of people, the quality of the entrepreneurs and the management team that they have with them. Even if you check only IT companies, it's still the people. In terms of the success of the entrepreneur, it's probably the quality of the business angel they're able to get. So it's people again. Because obviously people are good and bad. They may be more or less opportunistic. They may be more driven by high ideals, or they may be more driven by stealing your company away from you if you're naive. So you have to do your due diligence. That's what I always teach the entrepreneurs that come to our lectures, that the entrepreneur has the same obligation to himself to do the due diligence of potential investors as the potential investors have the obligation, and always do, the due diligence of the entrepreneur. So you need to choose someone who is first going to be working with you. You need to check that the person has chemistry with you. You need to make sure that that person, apart from money, is going to be able to give you their experience, their networking contacts, their ability and experience they had in managing the company, the knowledge of potential management people, the ability to sense risk before you even see it, before there are any symptoms, etc., etc. I mean, the value that business angel gives to an entrepreneur, to a new business, is enormous. Many, many times more valuable than money alone.
Okay. And Ms. Hejka, could you tell me what are some of the most common mistakes which entrepreneurs who have good ideas and are trying to attract capital make?
So many. What I see here in Poland is that quite often they think they have something great. They go for money. Sometimes they do really professional presentations, although quite often the presentations are not really at the level where they should be. But they forget to check the market. They don't know they have competitors. We had one presentation where there was great idea, excellent presentation, but Google was just introducing the same thing for free, and they didn't know about it. As you can imagine, no business angel gave them money as soon as they found out about it.
Rather not.
So it's important to do your market research.
So if, Ms. Hejka, you had, somebody had 30 seconds to convince you to pitch an idea to you, what questions would you ask in those 30 seconds?
I wouldn't ask. They would talk for the 30 seconds. But the first thing, they would have to convince me that the idea makes sense, that the people that are going to be executing that idea know what they're doing, they are motivated, they have the knowledge, they have the experience, and I have to understand how they want to create revenues and profits. There are many important aspects. One that is incredibly important to teach the entrepreneurs how to talk to business angels. And we've been running lectures with Leviathan, and I think it is helping, because if you have a perfect idea but you don't understand how business angels think, and you don't know how to present it professionally, if you don't, because sometimes they come with a presentation and they lose us in technicalities we can't follow or we don't want to follow. They don't go to the point. It's incredibly important. They get 3 minutes or 8 minutes or something like that, and they're supposed to really condense the information. It's supposed to grab us. After the presentation, the entrepreneur has to make a business angel want to follow him. And that's not easy. It's an art in itself. So the thorough preparation, the analysis of the market, the analysis of who you talk to, what their interests are, competition, suppliers, target groups, markets, developments, etc., is very important, and quite often they don't do it.
And what kind of trends do you see in angel investments? Do you see moving towards rather syndicates, rather angel syndicates? What do you think about that?
I think we have to go that route. This is something we've been advocating for quite a while, and it's incredibly important. One of the lectures that I give is for business angels, how to avoid risks. And there are many, many different ways. You can differentiate, you can diversify your investments. But if you do it alone, either you make tiny investments, so even if you make it big, it's not going to be big because the investment was tiny. You usually, if you do too many investments outside of your area of expertise, you may make mistakes. The probability of a mistake is much higher. Your negotiating position is small because you're investing tiny amount of money, etc., etc. There are many drawbacks. If you get together and you create a club, a small one at the beginning, among friends, people you trust, or later on, if you're smart enough and you create a syndicate, then you have all the advantages and none of the drawbacks. You can invest in an area that you don't understand because your friend knows it.
So the trust factor.
The trust factor, but more than trust, it's the expertise. Because your friend or the other business angel has the expertise you don't have, which allows you to invest in a segment or sector of the market which is very attractive, but you're not knowledgeable about it. It allows you, because there are people who are superb networkers, but there are others who love to analyze numbers. So you can do much better due diligence dividing the work. You're investing a bigger amount. So what you can do is you invest at the very early stage, but you still have money left to defend yourself when the VC comes in, for example, so you don't get diluted to death, etc., etc. So again, there are many advantages, and I've been advocating doing clubs or syndicates because it really solves a lot of problems, makes the investing easier and more profitable.